Hi everybody, I'm Ray here at React Miami and I'm here talking to Sunil Pai. Sunil, thanks for sitting and having a chat with me.
Thanks for having me.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about who you are, who you work for, and what you do?
My name is Sunil. I'm the founder of a company called Cool Computer Club, and I build a project called PartyKit, which is a platform for building real-time collaborative multiplayer experiences. So
Oh,
collaborative boards, shared documents, games, what have you. So yeah, I just started building it recently and it's going well. So that's what I'm talking about as well later today.
that's really cool. You're speaking here, React Miami today. What's your experience with React Miami? Is this your first time talking?
No, I've been speaking for a few years, but this is my first time in Florida and at React Miami because I admire Michelle Bakels and she reached out. I applied for the conference and she was like, yeah, we'd love to have you speak here. And I've had such a great 2 days.
Yeah.
I live in London otherwise where the weather is miserable, but I finally got to bring my shorts out. It's been great. The food's been amazing. I just ate a lobster roll. Oh my God. It's been wonderful. Just such a great experience so far. And even the quality of the talks have been like exceptionally good, which isn't true for all conferences, but this one so far, bangers all the way.
Awesome. How do you feel about the single track conference?
I like single track. I don't want to have the option of picking between my friends.
Right.
I like single track conferences in general because I can at least plant myself in the front row somewhere and then focus on what's going on. And it's nice. It means that everyone is in the same room with you as well. It's been good. It's been good.
Cool, cool. Switching gears a little bit, do you have any experience when it comes to low code, no code platforms?
I've used a bunch of them. I've used Webflow and Framer, and way back in the day, I used Dreamweaver. That's where I learned how to do web development. And I guess that's one of the original no code. I've always been fascinated with the topic. In general, I believe technology should be accessible because it amplifies human expression and human skill. And low code and no code tools are such a great way to do that, to make you shouldn't have to be a subject matter expert, coder, what have you, to build these things. And I love all of them. Everybody has their experiences with it, but they're universally, you know what, we got to put something up on the internet. That's a magical experience.
Cool. So you've used a bunch of them. What have you liked about them, and what are some things that you've had some issues with them as well?
The trade-off when you use a low-code tool is you are definitely constrained by the decisions that the creators of the low-code tools themselves make. Some of them are good, some of them are not so good. Some of constraints are useful for creativity, sure, but then at some point you're like, I just really need to put a Google Map in the thing, and I hope that this tool has a Google Map embed tool or something like that. That's the sort of thing that these tools eventually, when they become a little more mature, a tool that's 5 years old versus 5 weeks old, usually expands, builds out these features, and that's usually nice. But I think that's usually one of the complaints I hear about these things. Of course, I hear it mostly from programmers who do love writing code, so maybe it's just bias on their part.
Right.
But I suspect that's just it. The trade-off, the thing that makes it great is also the thing that people might complain about.
Yeah, like from a developer perspective.
That's
Yeah,
right, exactly.
It makes sense. Low code is great at getting things up and running quickly, but you're sacrificing your customizability. You're inhibited with some of your development because you can't just do the code that you want to do.
That's right, which is fine. That's just it. For 99 out of 100 use cases, it's great for so many things. I'll argue about the 1% on Twitter.
That's perfect. That's the perfect place to do it.
Yeah, that's it.
So is there anything else that you'd like to talk about?
I'd like to talk about PartyKit for a minute.
Okay,
the thing that I'm building. PartyKit, the reason I started even working on this is that the internet has always had the promise of collaboration, bringing people together, connecting everyone across the planet. And for the last 20, 30 years, it's delivered on that. But it turns out building an application like, say, Google Docs or a Figma, writing the code is hard, sure, it's a distributed systems problem. But it turns out the infrastructure for it is also extremely expensive and hard to maintain. Okay. It's not a mistake that you have to be a multi-billion-dollar company like Google to build out that infrastructure. And I aim to invert that relationship. I wanted to go from being the hardest, most expensive part of your application to be the easy thing, because once that becomes easy, you can imagine people building experiences like this all day long. Most applications should be collaborative. You should be, especially after the last few years, you should be able to drop a link to someone and say, hey, can you just jump on this thing with me and help me out? PartyKit, I think, has the goal of doing that. and I'm very excited to get it into people's hands. And
Cool.
have them
So
try.
where can people find it?
I'm going to be open sourcing the repository during my talk today.
Okay.
The actual platform will be open to everyone within the next 2 or 3 months, but PartyKit.io is the website.
Okay.
And I'm 3.1 on Twitter, but I also have PartyKit_io on Twitter. As you can imagine, I'm on Twitter half the time, so you can just reach out to me over there as well.
Okay. Sounds good. Perfect. Thanks for taking the time to
Thank
chat.
you for having me. I appreciate it.